Hey everyone, good evening. Good to have everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about a topic that hits close to home for so many of us. Why are we so afraid of having honest conversations? Whether it's giving feedback, saying no, expressing hurt, or just telling the truth. We hesitate, we hold back, we rehearse it in our minds, and then we stay silent. But why is it so hard to be real with people that we care about the most, right? It seems like it should just be so natural. Tonight, we're going to explore fear, rejection, and vulnerability in communication. All right. Meanwhile, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Karen Marinez. I'm an emotional wellness coach. I help the exhausted woman who struggles to feel comfortable in her own skin, has low self esteem, so she overextends herself to please others. But if you stick with us, I'll help you learn how to prioritize your well being and find peace and purpose and passion. Okay, I see we have some new people in the chat. I ask of you, please, if you're not subscribed, to subscribe. I'll give you a moment to do that. And meanwhile, let me see who's on. We have Gilberti. Hola, Gilberti. Bienvenido. We have my dear Carolyn, my Elvin in the back. Luz, Priscilla. Hey, yes, a beautiful and juicy topic, girl. Debbie Owens, PJ. Hey, Vanessa Carr, my cousin in Miami, Florida. Hey. Reignite Your Radiance. Geo's in the house. It's a hello, hello. So good to have you all here. It lights me up. Okay. So, excuse me, what are we really afraid of? What in the world are we so afraid of? One thing is fear of rejection. We say, if I say this, will they still like me? Right? Childhood patterns often taught us that honesty could lead to withdrawal of love or connection. I have clients who say, Mom would give me the cold shoulder for a week. Mom would give me the silent treatment for 2 weeks if I crossed her, if I said something, misbehaved, whatever the thing was, she let me know she was unhappy with me. So withdrawal of love or connection teaches me as a child, don't be honest, don't say it, there will be consequences. Fear of rejection holds us back. What about fear of conflict? We associate honesty with confrontation, especially if we didn't grow up in environments that modeled healthy disagreements. If we saw the adults that they could disagree, but calmly, maybe, get a little worked up, but nothing too out of the ordinary, and maybe agree to disagree, or everybody takes some time off, they step back from the situation, then they come back, find a healthy resolve. But if we didn't grow up seeing that, maybe we were in a single parent household, or our parents were, the disagreements became volatile. It was not good. We don't know what a healthy disagreement looks like. So imagine a fight breaks out in the home. The child is understandably unnerved, nervous, or if there's a breakup between the parents. Conflict is very uncomfortable because your brain at 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old would have reasoned that you were the reason of that conflict, or that's why children get upset with mommy. Daddy leaves and they blame mom. If you had been nicer to him, they don't know dad was being unfaithful or whatever his reasons for leaving. But somebody's got to be to blame, and I'm not blaming daddy, right? It's either me or it was mommy, right? So we learn that when you're honest and there causes conflict, honesty and conflict, honesty and confrontation, honesty does not reap anything positive in our minds because of what we did not see, right? So we avoid conflict because we don't want to lose the friend or the partner, the right, the whoever it is. So we'd rather not be honest. But think about it. If you can't be honest with that person, your spouse, your friend, Are you fully in a relationship with that person? Is it a healthy relationship? Or are you a disguised person? You have a mask on all the time. We're going to talk about vulnerability later. So important when it comes to assertive communication. Another fear is fear of being misunderstood. We say, well, what if I say it wrong? Right? Because we're overthinkers or people that are people pleasers. That fear paralyzes us. I want to say it, but what if I say it wrong? And we go through we rehearse this whole thing in our heads and we never say it because we're fearful of being misunderstood. So let's talk a little bit about fear of vulnerability. We're going to spend some time on this. Being honest means being seen. Okay. And many of us learned early that being seen wasn't always safe. It's very interesting. So we talked about different fears, but this one of fear of vulnerability, we're going to kind of stay on it for a little bit because a lot of people have this fear. If I'm seen, I am not safe. Because of experiences we had where being visible, noticed, expressing emotion, standing out led to emotional, physical, or psychological harm. So we'd rather be invisible, unseen. And that if I'm going to be invisible and unseen, I'm definitely not using this voice to say something. I'm just going to hold it back. So here are some common reasons why we form this belief that if we're visible, there will be some type of harm done to us. Number one, emotional neglect or rejection. When a child expressed feelings, needs, or individuality and was ignored, shamed, or criticized, what did they learn? That showing their true self led to disconnection or pain. Either somebody's calling you out. What do you mean you don't want to do like your sister and brother did? Or why are you looking like that, dressed like that, whatever the thing? Or a child cries and the adult says, stop being dramatic. A child asks for help and they hear, handle it yourself. You're not a baby. So I ask for help. I cry. I show I have a need and it's stomped down. It's either neglect or rejection. Again, when I was seen, I spoke up, I shared what I needed, I was harmed, either emotionally, physically, or psychologically. So we learn to not show vulnerability. We put on a mask. We're not our authentic selves, and we keep quiet. So that's one reason why it's hard to be vulnerable. Number two, punishment for authenticity. If a child was punished or ridiculed for speaking up, being creative, being sensitive, or different, they may associate visibility with danger because they were punished. Here's an example. You're being mocked for how you dress, what do you enjoy, what you believe. So again, visibility or speaking up, being my authentic self, danger. Being mocked, ridiculed, wow, for being different. So we shut it down, put on the mask, and we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable with anyone. Some people are in marriages. They are not vulnerable. That spouse that they have lived with for decades has no idea what's going on in their heads. They can't. They won't. Danger. Okay, number three, an unpredictable or unsafe environment. So in homes with abuse, addiction, mental illness, children often try to stay invisible because they don't want to trigger an adult's anger or instability. I'm not waking mommy up because she's going to be grumpy. She's going to be in a bad mood. I'm not putting myself in that danger. So a child learns that being quiet and unseen helps them avoid their parents' rage. It's not safe out there. It's very unpredictable. I never know when mommy or daddy are going to explode. So you know what? I'm shutting it down. If I could blend into the wall, I will. The more quiet and unseen I am, the better. I stay safe. This is how children reason, and then it takes us into adulthood until we are aware of it and can work on it. But we're born to survive. So our survival instincts, the child learns early on how to survive in their particular unstable environment. It's not wrong. It was all about survival. But the beautiful thing is now that we're adults, we have more control. Okay, here's the fourth reason why vulnerability is difficult. Either we want a whole lot of control or we're perfectionists. So environments that we grew up in where there's pressure to always do it right, look good, you better get those A's. Don't come in here with a B or an A minus. That teaches kids that being fully themselves is risky. Why? Because any flaw will be judged. I don't even want an A minus. You better bring me those A's. Perfectionism, very demanding, way up here, standards that almost choke you. They're so out of control. So, in order to not be judged, I'll learn to hide my imperfections rather than be seen as human. I tell you one thing, it's a beautiful thing to accept I'm not perfect. It's impossible for me to be perfect right now. I will have imperfections. I'll have flaws, if we want to call it that, in my, for lack of a better word, in my personality. But I have strengths and weaknesses. But so does everyone that walks on this earth. So where do I get the idea that I have to be perfect or else no one will love me? If people see the real me, that I'm human, that I have strengths, but not so much the strengths, but the weaknesses in our minds, as we were raised, they'll all push me away because that parent refused to accept us if we were not perfect. We assume that the whole world around us is like that. And I promise you, the majority of people are not like that. Especially vitamin people, people that nourish us and make us and help us to feel good and cheer us on. And they accept our weaknesses. They're not expecting you to be perfect. But if that's what we were raised to believe, then of course I'm not going to be authentic. I'm going to be vulnerable and share these things with people. That's all me because then they're going to judge me and they're going to reject me. So I'll just keep it to myself, put my mask on, stay quiet, and go through life. Perfect. But drowning on the inside, miserable on the inside, angry on the inside, because who can keep that up? It's exhausting. And come to find out, it's not even necessary. People will love you. They do love you. You may not be able to see why, but I promise you they do because they see the whole picture. And finally, number five, it could be why, dealing with vulnerability could be hard. It could be cultural or generational messages. Some families or cultures, children are expected to stay in a child's place. You you don't have an opinion. That's what we're talking. No opinions. You better not challenge authority. But mommy, but what about it may come, a backhand or a cold shoulder. How dare you speak up and challenge my authority? And talking about feelings, mommy, I'm sad, mommy, is suck it up. That's not accepted. And that instills the belief that self-expression is not safe or welcome. How sad. But it's generational, it's cultural. So how does that affect us as adults? We might hesitate to speak up, downplay our needs, struggle with visibility in relationships, work, or creativity. And we may equate attention with criticism instead of attention with connection because we want to be unseen. We're safer if we just stay in our little shell, up under a blanket, hiding, or out and about, fully masked, no authenticity, no vulnerability, even with the ones supposedly closest to us. So everyone misses out on the real us, and we miss out because the more we put on that mask and go out into the world and lack authenticity and we don't speak up, we don't want to be seen, we can lose touch even with ourselves. It happens all the time. And we don't want to do that. We want to be in touch. We want to know who we are here, right? So, what's the cost of avoiding honesty? Back to the big topic of why we avoid these honest conversations. Here's a quote: every unsaid truth builds a wall. Wow, powerful. So, what's the cost? Hey, audience, what's the cost of avoiding honesty? One, it creates emotional distance. You may be this person, or you may have someone in your life that they're not being honest, and you can feel that wall. There's only so close that they're going to allow you to get to them. And it's so sad. They miss out, we miss out. Also, resentment brews quietly when our needs are ignored or our truth is hidden. We're the ones doing it, but we become resentful because we don't feel safe to do it. And resentment is a hard burden to carry. It is heavy. It's not pretty. And when we're quiet, when we don't practice honesty, it impacts our self-worth because staying silent often means what? We don't even believe our voice matters. So if I don't believe my voice matters, I don't feel I'm worthy. And that's no good. Here we're trying to work on our self-esteem and our feelings of self-worth. Physically, how can it affect us by not having honest conversations? It can show up as tension, anxiety, or even burnout. How many of you watching feel or have felt burnout? And it's because the body carries, listen at this, the body carries what the mouth does not release. If you don't speak it and say it, your body's going to carry it. And can you imagine through the decades, you're feeling exhausted, burnout, anxious, and tense? Try to think about all the loads that are on your shoulders, on your back, things you haven't said throughout the years, the decades. It's too much. It's too much. Here's another quote: unspoken truth becomes emotional clutter. It's way too much. So you say, Karen, yeah, it just says burnout is real. It is. You go to sleep 8 hours and you wake up and you feel more exhausted than when you lay down because the mind is going. There's so much to say. And we squash it and we blame it on stress. We blame it on this. But I tell you one thing, Luce, on point. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's great if it's something that I've done to myself, because that means I can undo it. That's why we're having these conversations, because if you can see yourself in what I'm saying, you could say, oh, I want you to be able to pinpoint it. That's why it's so hard, because mommy or daddy or whatever the situation. And then we can work on it. You learned to be unseen because it was safe, but now you're like, okay, but the coast is clear. I'm an adult. I'm 50, I'm 40, I'm 60 something years old. I'm in control. Those people are not. responsible for me anymore. I'm responsible for me. Let's work on this. All right. Priscilla, this is deep. It is, Priscilla. And I'm so glad you're here to enjoy it. And this is what we need. So, what helps us to speak up? Here's another quote that I love. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's being scared and doing it anyway, right? Taking the trip. I've talked about this before. You look, ain't fear. Get in the seat, put your seatbelt on, let's go. We go with the fear. We can't get rid of the fear. Fear is an emotion. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to go with the fear. So the first step, what's going to help you to speak up? Name your fear. You say, I'm scared this might change our relationship. It could be your husband. You could be married 20 years. It's something you've never said to him. But you're like, but I need to say it. And it's weighing on you, weighing on you. Name the fear. What are you afraid of? I'm scared the relationship might change. He may not respect me or love me, or my boss is going to be upset because I may lose his favor because I'm going to tell him that I don't agree with the way he's handling this situation in the office, or I know I deserve a raise and I haven't gotten it in 3 years and he keeps putting it off. And if he doesn't, then I'm going to start looking for work, right? From another job, whatever the thing is. Or I have to speak to my adult child that's been living in my home, taking advantage of me. They're not progressing. He's got to go. I'm giving him a month. He's got to go, but he's my one and only child. And how would I do it without him? Whatever the situation is, I'm just throwing things out there. Name the fear. Why are you afraid to say what you need to say? And then start small. Honesty does not always have to be deep. So practice saying no to little things first. Just start small. No, I don't want that. No, I'm good. No, I don't want to go there. I'd rather do this with our free day together. Whatever the thing, start small. We had friends that were missionaries in Liberia, and they would say small, small. Start small, small. All right. Another thing is using I language. So instead of saying, you always make me feel, or you always do this, the you. That's like taking a ball and throwing it at somebody. Use I. You say, I feel, or I've noticed, or you know what I really need from you? It keeps a conversation grounded and less defensive. The person has no, if I'm expressing what I need, there's no need, or what I feel, they shouldn't be so defensive. They'll be less defensive instead of saying, you always make me feel, and I. So practice the I, all right? And this is big. Allow space for discomfort. As I was preparing this, I was like, this is good because we're not used to discomfort. And especially if we're people pleasers, we don't feel comfortable with silence. We don't feel comfortable with somebody rolling their eyes at us or the thought of someone being unhappy with us. But we have to accept, are you ready for this? Not every conversation ends perfectly. And it can't be, I wish I had a bow. It can't be every conversation gift wrapped and wrapped in a pretty, perfect bow. No. Not every most conversations won't end perfectly. It's okay for it to feel awkward, but you have to be okay with the awkward. And it doesn't mean it wasn't worth it, you saying what you had to say. It just didn't end perfectly, but it's okay. I said it. And now it's up to them to do what they want to do with that information. I don't have any control over that, but I do have control over how I said it, when I said it, right? The tone I used, the setting that we were in. If you're a people pleaser, you'll feel a strong urge to leave everyone feeling good about themselves and happy all the time. And that's not realistic. So become comfortable with the uncomfortable. Here we are. Let's release the responsibility that we have put on ourselves to make everyone else feel good. And guess what? We're carrying everyone else's load. We feel we put it on ourselves to be responsible for everyone else's happiness, especially the people that are important to us. And being happy and feeling good about ourselves is a personal project. Instead of spending all that time making everyone else feel good, how about you make yourself feel good? Prioritize you. Can we please stop ourselves from trying to do that for others? Because it's exhausting, because it's impossible to do. Everyone is responsible to do their own work on themselves. We cannot do it. Don't give them flowers. I'm so sorry. I really hope. No, no, no. Get the flowers for yourself. Go get the flowers and bring them and put them on your nightstand or on your dining room table. Stop. It's okay if other people are not happy. It's okay. Who made us responsible? That goes back to childhood. Something crazy broke out in the house and we feel responsible to get that wasn't our job. Then we were children. And it's definitely not our job now, but that's where it comes from. But again, now as an adult, I can give myself permission to release that responsibility. I'm only responsible for me. That's it. Can you give me a thumbs up if that resonates with you? It's okay for the conversation to feel awkward because the other person's not happy. And we have to expect that. If we're expressing ourselves, we have to expect that. Especially if we've always said, yes, we're a people pleaser, yes, 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 for decades, that now when we stop saying yes, 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 blindly, and we actually say, look, hun, every year we have an anniversary. I'm happy to be married to you, but we don't celebrate it. And he's looking like, well, you never complained about this before, because you were just like, well, I'm just happy that, we're together and I know he loves me, right? I'm just throwing this out. But it happens. This is real life. And then the wife learns, like, wait a minute, I have a voice, I have a mouth, and I'm supposed to use it. And hun, very like, I would, I'm happily married to you, but I would really love for this year that we celebrate our anniversary. And he's like, what? That's too much money. Yeah, but I deserve to be celebrated. We deserve to be celebrated. I want to go out. Well, you're going to have to plan it. All right. Or he's like, what? I don't, whatever his response is, it's okay. She said what she said. And if he refuses to go out, girl, go out and celebrate it yourself. Get a friend and go celebrate your anniversary. It's something to be celebrated, right? This is just an example. We don't take responsibility for other people. We don't know how they're going to respond to the things that we say. But from now on, can we be honest? And it starts with being honest with ourselves. Like in that case, she may want that, but she's like, oh, but I don't really need it. But oh, and then she sees all her friends that celebrate their anniversaries, and she's like, be honest with yourself and then say it. And you're not going to argue with him. You never take me out of it. No, 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 no. The I, remember the I. I feel, you know what I would really love? And we could spend a night and we could take pictures, whatever the thing. Say it. Say it. Be honest. All right. Oh, my brother's here. What? Hey, bro. I got a lot of thumbs up. Yeah. Priscilla says I want to cry. Go on, girl. We encourage crying around here. At me best, it's hard to accept, but this is very true. Yeah. Release that responsibility to make everybody else feel good. Elvin says, please press the like button if you're liking this. And Gilberti, buenas noches, saludos, póngame a contexto, por favor. Después, Gilberti. Okay, so here's another thing. Regulate before you speak. Again, I'm speaking, so take a breath. Let your nervous system settle, right? You're about to go in and speak to hubby or mom or big sis. or that child, that adult child living in your home, taking up space and not wanting to pay rent, whatever the thing, or the boss, or your child's teacher, whatever the thing, or that best friend that really hurt you, and you're like, how can I say it to her? Clarity comes easier when we're calm. So get yourself together, okay? And let your nervous system settle and then do it. All right? So honest conversations are an act of love, not just for others, but for you. You're not too much. You're not being dramatic. Your feelings deserve a voice just like everyone else's. And I guarantee you, it's hard for you to have hard conversations, but I guarantee you people have hard conversations with you all the time. But because you're a people pleaser, because they know you're never going to say anything, oh, they let you have it. And you swallow it. You swallow and you don't say a word. The truth might feel risky, but silence often costs more, especially your health, the way your body feels, your mind, the exhaustion, the burnout. Don't do it to yourself. Honest conversations are an act of love for you. All right? Now, I'm going to give you some journal prompts so you can do the work. Okay? And then I'll put them in the chat later. But facing the fear of honest conversations. Here's one. And if you're not in the chat, what is it called? The link is in the chat thing box. And if you're seeing this later, it'll be down in the show notes, okay? The WhatsApp link. When was the last time I avoided saying something that I truly felt, and what stopped me? Here's another one. What do I fear will happen if I'm completely honest with someone I care about? Where did I first learn that being honest could be dangerous, unsafe, or uncomfortable? How does my body react when I think about having a difficult conversation? Some people get tight chest, a lump in the throat. Some people get sore throats, sweaty palms. And look at this one. What's the difference between being honest and being unkind? Where do I confuse it to? We're not talking about being unkind. Remember, I said not the throwing it. You and you always, and I don't like it. You are. No, 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 no. We toss the ball gently. I would like. When you say so and so, it makes me feel, and I don't appreciate it. And we watch our tone. We're firm, but we're kind. So maybe we get it twisted, the honesty and unkindness, so we just don't say anything. Where do you confuse the two? And here's another one. What is one truth I've been carrying that's been heavy to hold? What would it feel like to say what I need without apology? What do I gain when I stay silent, and what do I lose? And if I believed that my truth was worthy of space, how would I speak differently today? Okay. So Gio said, yeah, be okay with the awkward. I am giving, for those that don't know, I'm going to do a course on assertive communication. It starts July 1st. It's a 30-day course. Each day has a small challenge. I'll be with you every step of the way, every day, 4 times in the month. Probably 4 Mondays, we'll be doing a live Zoom. You'll have Coach K. I'll be coaching you. I'll teach you, and then we'll shut off the camera because that's recorded for those that can't make it, those that are in the class but just can't make it at that particular time. And then we have the after dark talk, what I call it, a discussion, no cameras, and we just talk. The class is phenomenal. Body language, tone of voice, how to have honest conversations, use your voice, speak up, all the things that affect assertive communication, not being aggressive, not being passive, right in the middle, assertive communication, how to do it. Communication affects every relationship, at work, at home, in the neighborhood, at the supermarket, at our places of worship. It's when you have people, you need good communication. And if it doesn't exist, there's chaos, there's problems, right? Problems. So if you're interested in the course, in the chat, you can text me and say, Karen, I'm interested, or you can email me. All my information is down in the show notes. KarenMCoach@gmail.com. The price is now $167. Get in. We start July 1st. It's going to be a good one. I promise you. So last week I asked you what were some questions you had, and someone asked a good one. She said, Karen, how do you deflect unwanted communication with grace and confidence? So one thing is setting boundaries, right? Whether it's nosy questions, emotional dumping, guilt trips, or conversations you just don't want to be in. There's a way to handle it without being rude, shutting down, or feeling guilty. So let's talk about how to say no thanks with grace. Unwanted conversation or communication, what is it? It can be like this: invasive or overly personal question. Somebody may be going through a divorce, or they're separated, or the spouse gets sick, and people just feel like they can ask and you're like, that is very personal. It may be gossip or negativity that you don't want to engage in. It could be people dumping their emotional garbage on you, baggage on you without consent. Conversations that are sexually inappropriate, manipulative, or pushy. It could be requests for your time or attention that you can't or do not want to give, right? What's the common thread? It crosses your boundaries, either spoken or unspoken, and you're like, oh. But if you're a people pleaser, if you're an empath or a recovering over-explainer, you might feel like you have to stay nice, even when someone's making you feel very uncomfortable. And I've had those situations that people ask me very personal questions, and we're in a group, and it's like, hello, if you're going to ask me the personal question, at least pull me to the side. But in front of 10 people, you're going to ask me that question? That's so rude. Why is it hard for us to deflect, though? A lot of us are taught being nice means always being available, or we're afraid of being seen as mean, cold, or selfish. We don't want that responsibility. Or we confuse, or not responsible, we don't want that, what's the word? Oh my goodness, what's the word? Reputation. Or we confuse setting a boundary with causing harm. But here's the truth. Are you ready? You are not obligated to entertain every conversation. You don't have to earn your right to peace. So here are things you can say. It could be one, the polite redirect. You say, that's something I really don't want to get into right now. Or you could say, let's talk about something lighter. The second one, the silent strategy. If it's gossip, complaining, or negativity, just don't feed it. You could respond with a pause or you could just change the subject. Number three, the boundary line. You could say, I'm not comfortable talking about that. Just look them in the eye. I'm not comfortable talking about that. And be firm, not rude, but firm. Or, I'd prefer not to discuss this. That's it. Boundary. Number four, the energy protector, especially if we're people pleasers or we like to be available. And it's like we're vacuuming up everybody's issues, everybody's problems. And then we mop it up and vacuum it up. That I'm not put on, I was not, I used to be, but we're not put on the earth. I was not put on the earth for that. So that sucks my energy. What can I say? Ooh, I don't have the bandwidth for this right now. Or can we talk later? I need a little quiet time. Protect your energy. Number five, the no without the story. Because when we are people pleasers and all that stuff, we say no, but we feel we have to give an explanation. No, just say no. Say, no, I'm not available for that. They invite us to a party that we're not interested in, or our schedule's full, or they need a favor, whatever the thing. No, I'm not available for that. Not because my mom is sick and, I've been working extra and that, you don't have to say all of that. The no without the story. I love how that sounds. Or I can't help with that today. And you don't have to give justification of why. It's just a no, I can't. I'm not available. That's it. Again, that makes us feel awkward and uncomfortable because the person is like, huh? Because we've never said no before. So they're used to us always, sure, da, da, da. And they're looking. conversation over. Number 6, handling emotional dumping. You could say, I care about you, but right now I'm not in the right space to hold this. Or we could say, have you thought about talking to someone who's trained to support you? And lastly, you could use body language. You could step back slightly. You could, cross your arms, break eye contact, glance at your phone. Signals that you're closing the interaction. I'm done here. Okay. So remember this. You are allowed to exit a conversation that does not feel right. We don't want to anymore allow people to make us feel uncomfortable. That's not fair to us. We wouldn't do it to other people, and that's not fair. But some people enjoy seeing us fidget and squirm. I have the right to exit the conversation if it doesn't make me feel right. I'm also allowed to not answer questions. I can give myself a Karen, from now on, you do not have the obligation to answer all questions that people ask. Some people, because of their ignorance, ask questions that is none of their business. And if it's my business, I have the right to tell them that. I don't feel comfortable discussing that right now. You're also allowed to protect your peace without a full explanation. No is a full sentence. No without the story. And the people who respect you will respect your boundaries. The people that don't will get frustrated and go away. And that brings more peace anyway. So you're good. Okay. So every time you deflect unwanted communication, you're choosing your inner calm over other people's approval. Good job. You don't need a reason to protect your space. Your comfort is enough, right? Use your voice. Take that mask off. Figure out why you are very uncomfortable with honest conversations. Be okay with that awkwardness at the end of an awkward conversation. Let it ride. It's okay. You ever met someone? There are people who they don't like silence. Sometimes me and Elvin are riding in the car. Today we took a drive upstate. We're not talking the whole time. We're looking. I'm like, oh, Elvin, when you look at that river. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. We're just, vibing. But silence is okay. But there's some people who are very uncomfortable with silence, and they go on and right. It's okay. But say what you need to say. Use I. Don't throw the ball to hit them in the head. Be gentle. Toss the ball and say things with I. Watch your tone, your body language, your face. Because if you're saying, I need, and your face is all squinted up, why are you so angry, right? Watch your face. All of that matters. And again, the class I'm going to teach on July 1st for 30 days will discuss all of that. We're going to have a good time. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me by email, in the WhatsApp chat. Those that have my number can reach out to me personally. This was a great discussion. Gio says, be okay with the awkward, protect your energy, nicely say it's none of your business, and then exit stage left. Yes. Thank you for the resumen, I'm in Spanish mode today and I have no idea. I've been speaking English all day. Thank you for the summary. That's the word, summary. Yes, it's okay. And the people that really respect you and love you will appreciate you for it. They'll be so glad that you took the mask off. All right. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Those who are new, first timers, I appreciate you for coming. Come on back now. Now, with the class starting, no, next Monday we'll be here. The Mondays in July, I don't know how many I'll be here, depending on my energy level. I may do YouTube once or twice, maybe on a Friday or Wednesday. We'll have to coordinate it, but we'll do some good stuff. All right. Big hugs. You guys take care. And we're going to have some more testimonials of people who have taken classes with me before and how they felt about it. So hang around if you want to see that. You're very welcome, Luz. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kisses and hugs. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
My name is Victoria. I live in Youngsville, North Carolina, and I learned about this course through Coach Karen. When I started this course, I was dealing with a lot, still grieving my mom and trying to prioritize my time, and also was at risk of losing my job because I work for the Department of Ed, or I worked for the Department of Ed. And it was just a lot to manage. I love to help people, so I often prioritize people over myself, but there was a couple things that really stood out to me in the class. That was the wheel, where there's a victim, a rescuer, and a persecutor. And I found myself being a rescuer all the time, wanting to help people, volunteering my time. And I know there's nothing wrong with it, but what happens is when you don't prioritize yourself sometimes and you're always helping others and the things you need to get done is lost, then you become the persecutor. You're upset with them. How dare they expect me and ask me to do things for them when I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, and it's just so hard. I want to say no, but what are they going to do if I don't? And so just learning the balance of prioritizing things and learning to say no when they don't ask, when I can't do it, or when I don't want to do it. And then the color wheel that we did also helped me to understand that there was aspects of my life that I could improve on, but that were being minimized because I was helping others. Also, the experiences and having that group interaction was very helpful. So since then, I've learned to say no. I have more peace, and I'm excited to see what the future brings. I recommend this course because it truly does make a difference.
Hi, my name is Sean. I first found out about Vimes. I had a friend, she took a few of the courses in Spanish, and she, loved them so much. Unfortunately, though, they didn't have them in English, so I kept waiting, when. And first they started the one-on-one coaching in English, so I got a coach. At the time, I was going through a lot of mental stress, even some physical, and I didn't understand why. I had tried a few things that, didn't help me as much. But now I feel like they help me to understand myself better because of my background, my perception of certain things that, that's really helped me, for me to know why it's helped. And so now, before I make decisions, or even, if I have to catch myself afterwards, I'm able to question myself, well, why did this happen? Well, what was I thinking, or something like that. And for me, that's a lot. I mean, I'm still a work in progress. I know things take time, but I appreciate, Vimes teaching me a lot about myself and my personality. Another thing that I like about Vimes, and I appreciate, is the price point. A lot of us have seen or tried things that cost a lot of money that, we really couldn't afford. And I feel like the courses are reasonable. The free YouTube videos, I mean, you can't beat that. It's a beautiful thing to really offer that for free. And so I appreciate them for that. So if you're thinking about Vimes, don't hesitate.
Hi, my name is Ita Alvarez. I currently live in Houston, Texas, and I found out about this channel and their courses through my good friend Jordana. She saw how much I was struggling with my health and shared the information with me. When I started, I was recently diagnosed with fibromyalgia. My body was in so much pain all the time. I could barely get out of bed some days. What impacted me the most was how quickly the aches started to go away. And since then, my life has changed tremendously. I was able to find happiness again. The constant pain had me absolutely miserable, and I was able to find joy in the things I once loved. I'll highly recommend Vimes and their courses to my friends and family because it truly makes a difference. It did for me.
Hi there, my name is Luz. I heard about the Vimes program through a really good friend. She posted a link, and I had been searching for something to help me during this time of motherhood and transitioning in my 40s. And it's been a fabulous, fabulous tool for me to learn so much about myself. It's a form of self-care to really sit down, take the time, and be alone with your thoughts and think about all the things that we really don't give ourselves time to think about. Just very insightful, simple to understand pointers that we hear so many buzzwords about being present, just self-help, but putting it all together in simple terms that anyone can implement. A woman who's busy can do it. If I can do it, definitely anyone else, because it is a long, hard day sometimes with children at home, little ones. But we are so benefiting from this program. One of the things that I loved was change yourself, change your surroundings. I've definitely experienced that with my family. And look at me. This is a new surrounding. We're away and enjoying. It has been a couple years since we took a trip, and we realized we needed this trip. And I would say I would credit what I've learned about making sure to take care of yourself. So come join us. And thank you so much for being here.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Brooks. I live in Alabama. I was recommended the Vimes course by a dear friend. I started this journey a bit lost, a new transition in my life. And so I was trying to figure out what things make me happy, what things I like doing, and what things just in general to make me happy. The biggest thing I've learned in this journey is that I can trust myself, that I am willing and I am capable, and that emotions aren't a scary thing. Emotions help teach us things. It helps better us. And by using the better emotional tools, it's helped me to be a happier person. I'm open to new ideas and things don't seem as scary so much. I've learned to embrace these things, changes in my life. I feel like it's made me a better friend, a better wife, a better mother. And I hope to continue this journey and to continue to learn more about myself as I enter different phases of life, understanding how they impact me and how they make my life better. And I love sharing the things that I've learned with others because I feel like they can benefit also. I would recommend this channel to anyone that wants to help themselves or to better understand their emotional health. And I hope you decide to join the channel, and I will continue on my journey as well. You take care. Bye.